Um, Hi. You know that series of weird Nestea commercials with the skeletal snowman? Well, the folks we're about to meet today are responsible for him. That's right, we're taking a trip to Minneapolis to the headquarters of Fallon Worldwide, a top-flight ad agency. And since we're talking corporate culture, we asked Gwen Gierke, Fallon Worldwide's talent scout, to take us along on a recruitment tour. It gave us a good take on the sights and sounds of her firm.
Okay, hey, we're going to take a tour of Fallon. I'm going to show you some of the great places here, spaces that people hang out and get a lot of their great, excellent work done. So let's go. These are curvicles. That's what we have here instead of cubicles. We have these little sails in between too, so that if you like your neighbor, you can have your sail down. If you don't, you can put your sail up. This is our art car, BMW art car. BMW is a big client of ours. We love them. There are a whole bunch of art cars that have been painted by famous people. And so we had a contest. And what we did was all the employees could come up with ideas to paint this car. And so you don't actually win the car for the contest, but you got to paint it. And so here's the result of the winners. They just painted it last week. So here we have it in our new building. We also have these spaces that are like kitchen spaces all over the place, and a lot of people you'll see at lunchtime getting together here, watching a soap opera. Or yesterday I had a meeting and I wanted to watch Spinal Tap. It was on, but I had to miss it. So I'm not sure what this one is. There's something new and different each day. This is our video conference room. Let's see if anyone's in there. Oh, they're having a video conference. We can't go in. Let's go this way. We're going to go down to the galley. I mean, everyone here is pretty much treated at the same level, and same kind of benefit level, same everything. We're all equals. We're all just part of the team serving the client. So this is our galley space. People meet here casually and informally, and you may have other interviews here today. In every kitchen and stuff, there's like fountain drinks, and we try and help our employees by giving them just the basic things that they need so that they can function on a daily basis. And we found that caffeine is usually one of those things, so we provide that. We're going to go this way. I'm going to take you to one of my favorite face-to-face rooms. Because we have such open spaces, sometimes it's hard to get work done because it gets really loud and energetic, so sometimes you need to go to these face-to-face rooms. I guess this room is called Solid Gold, and this is one of my favorite rooms to interview in with these beanbag chairs because they're pretty comfortable. So when people come in here and do some research or reading or whatever they might need to do. I'll show you the foosball table. Do you want to play?
Yes.
If a person can beat me at foosball, then they get the job. So that's kind of how we do it. It's like a sudden death thing. Uh-oh. Oh, no! You get the job. Gosh, you win. You know, you can talk to a whole bunch of people today that will tell you different things about what our culture is, but really it's all about energy, and it's about keeping that energy going to support our mission, which is, you know, providing the great creative excellence for our clients. And everything we do is really surrounding that, and the culture kind of breeds that.
Want to start? You want me to?
You can start, Fred.
Actually in 1980, when we started talking about this, Pat's dream was an agency that was extremely creative because the culture all worked together, because we tried to do the best work you could possibly do. And we would hire people like ourselves who really had a passion for the business and a passion for each other. We liked working together. Wouldn't you say that was part of the work?
We had an instinctive sense that a powerful culture could give us a competitive advantage.
We thought that there was a way that we could help our clients outthink their competition, not just outspend them. It was more about the size of the idea than it was the size of an advertising budget.
And from Minneapolis, we knew that if we recruited people from out of the Twin Cities area, that culture could help keep them here. And in an agency, part of the management's responsibility is to minimize turnover.
And it's worked because we've been able to attract people from as far away as Europe and in South America and Australia, because they've heard about the passion and they've heard about the culture, and they're willing to come here to Minnesota to do the best work of their lives.
Pat Fallon and Fred Sen were explaining how corporate culture influences a firm's intellectual capital. See, in the world of advertising, you're only as good as your creative talent. That's why Pat and Fred stress the importance of Fallon Worldwide's corporate culture.
Culture is in the walls of a place. Culture is, you know, all-inclusive, and it begins with actions, and it has to begin at the top of the organization. So many organizations have a mission statement or have values, and what they are pieces of paper. They don't become reality because they're difficult to live. At everything we did, small or large, where the early days when we were cleaning the johns out and taking waste baskets out and shoveling the snow, we saw that as a cultural sign. I guess the trend, or the buzzword is servitude, but we didn't know that then, but we just knew that we worked for our people as much as they worked for us.
Well, that sounds great, but does it really hold up? We talked with Fallon's youngest crop of managers to find out how the firm's culture helps them do the best work of their lives.
Oh, that's not at all.
Hey.
Oh yeah, don't move. I remember in college reading about culture and going, right, that doesn't make any sense. What does it matter, you know, what the people are like? But some of my clients, you know, I go into companies and I can feel that it's a different place than it is here.
I'm the same. I totally didn't buy into this culture thing. My other friends have all switched jobs. They try to understand like what I like so much about my job, and I go to that catchphrase culture and try to explain to them the people and the uniqueness and, you know, how it's laid back and fun and creative. And
It's almost like being in college again. It's like you're here with people who are fun, who have a good time, who are smart, who are challenging, and they've really been able to replicate that same sort of environment here, creating a great vibe and a great energy.
There are some companies that are nurturing companies. There's some companies that are risk-taking companies. There's some companies that, you know, have a culture that's about money, and some that have a culture that's about philanthropy. But you can only do certain things based on what your culture is like. So we're a risk-taking culture, and we're a competitive culture, and that really comes through in everything that we do. I mean, our ads are not status quo. Right. We challenge the status quo a lot. We take risks. We're not afraid to fail.
People ask, why does culture matter? And culture is a strategic advantage. We can't compete with the large agencies in terms of pay. We've got to make people who come to work here hope to do the best work of their lives. And our promise to them is we're going to give you an environment. We're going to surround you with people and an atmosphere where you can do the very best work of your lives. If we can keep that promise, we've got a culture.
In some cultures, you have a culture that nurtures prima donna attitude and people who are like, I've created really famous ads, look at me. And I've generally found in this business the nicest people are also the most talented because they don't have that insecurity. They know who they are so they can be themselves. And generally that's true right down the line here. I mean, we really don't have prima donnas. We don't nurture that. If somebody starts acting up, we slap them down, and that happens so seldomly. Usually it's me, actually, who needs to be slapped down. But so that really is part of the culture here, too, I think. It's just a really genuine, kind of real, like, no pretense, you know, just genuine folks who are really talented.
I think it's through the leadership of the people, the upper management at Fallon, because they're extremely accessible. They joke around. You don't feel like you go through all these layers to talk to them or be intimidated about dropping by their office. They feel like coworkers versus like gods of your company or something.
Not that Pat isn't a god. He really is like a legend of advertising. Yet he's the guy that you can ride in an elevator and...
He'll say something crass.
Yeah, and it's fine. It's like he's totally a down-to-earth guy.
The point is that a good culture helps make for a more productive and pleasant workplace. Well, I think by now we all understand the effect of a firm's culture on employees, but what about clients? You know, can a firm's culture really help seal the deal? Yay!
When our clients say things like, I love the fact that you guys are so incredibly disciplined, but yet you're so incredibly creative. That's our culture.
To be disciplined and to be creative and to be honest and to be passionate.
It's kind of like two people that found love at first sight. It's all just about chemistry. It's the intangibles. And when you have that, the rest of it just comes. You know, we often even say to our clients at the end of new business pitches, you're buying a partnership. Even if you don't like the work that we presented or the thinking that we presented,
that can always be discussed and debated, but remember, in the end, you're buying a partner. It's like a marriage.
Sticking with the marriage analogy for a second, it's much easier to keep the spice in a relationship when it's just the two of you, but what happened when the Fallon family grew into this worldwide organization with hundreds of employees?
It's not easy to create that kind of culture. It gets especially difficult as the company grows. When you're small, you see each other every day, you know each other. When you get to numbers of several hundred and offices in places like London and Sao Paulo, then creating cultural energy becomes something that all of the leaders think about all the time. How do we keep it going? Because now you have to work at it.
That's something I think that differentiates culture-driven organizations than the rest, is the time that people dedicate, that leaders and managers dedicate to culture. Because you know what? It's a lot easier to not bother, but you have to bother. And sometimes it means the taking even as little as 15 minutes a day to spend with people. I look at my job as three things: culture, people, and the work. And it's a circle. They all relate to each other, and they all interact with each other, and they all impact each other. And if I don't take the time to interact on a human level, individually, one-on-one with people and in groups with people, then I'm not doing my job.
If it sounds like we're just here to nurture creative people, you have to understand that creativity is something that we want and expect from every department, from every person. So, and people want to be creative, regardless of what their discipline is. They want to make a creative contribution to the company.
Let's just hear a few more of the ways that Fallon encourages employee loyalty and really goes that extra step to foster a great corporate culture.
When you make a decision to have cultural energy be a real important part of the fabric of your company, the essence of your own brand, you have to make a commitment to spending to back that up. And it's not very much. I mean, it's like when you're going to have a Christmas party, have a hell of a Christmas party. There's lots of little decisions like financing somebody's honeymoon who can't afford it. But in the big picture, it doesn't add much at all to costs.
The managers and staff at Fallon Worldwide spend a lot of time developing their corporate culture. And as we saw, they're convinced that their internal culture influences their external environment and allows them to grow effectively into a global concern. Well, that's pretty much all I got for now. I'm Scott Winters. Thanks for watching.